I just remember being in Barnes & Noble and seeing a globe, and I sent a picture of it to you, and I was like, what is this globe doing in the Barnes & Noble? Get the shit out of here.
Give me the flat Earth coin. Where's my Earth coin?
Yeah, where's my sea turtle from Discworld that has the Earth on its back, traveling through space? Hello and welcome to another episode of Millenniotic, the podcast, where a couple millennials discuss society, entertainment, and logistics of life. I'm Jason.
I'm AJ, and this is our 13th episode. If you missed any of our previous episodes, you can see them all on YouTube, as well as any of your favorite podcast platforms. Be sure to follow us on all of our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates and clips from each episode in case you weren't able to catch the entire thing.
That's true. So AJ, what are we talking about today?
Today, I want to talk about being woke and what it actually means. Because you say, you can hear people, and it's a mainstream term now.
I know.
About being woke.
It's kind of lost its true meaning.
Its true meaning is
honesty.
Far gone at this point.
Yeah.
It has a new meaning, and it's not nearly the same as it was before.
Yeah.
It doesn't have as much punch, you could say. So we want to talk about how it kind of transitioned into the mainstream term that is now part of the dictionary for a couple of years. It actually got added to the dictionary in 2017.
Oh, geez, really?
So I actually have the definition from dictionary.com about what woke is.
Yeah, and
right?
the newest generation, Gen Yers or whatever, they're considered kind of the woke generation just because they use it so much.
Yeah, like the millennials and Zoomers, all that kind of stuff. They consider themselves woke because they feel like they know what's kind of always going on, even though that's not necessarily the case.
Because just because you've grown up in the age of information doesn't mean that you know everything.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, I can Google whatever, which means whatever I read online has to be true, right?
Yeah.
There's no false information on the internet.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
So we are clearly more educated than we are ever before because of the internet.
Yeah.
But we're also sharing stupid ideas because of it, right? So the definition of woke is the consciousness of racial discrimination in society and other forms of oppression and injustice.
Yeah.
Right? The mainstream use is describing someone or something as being with it. Right? That's kind of what we were saying.
It's an old school, African term. I'm not really going to say African American, but it's just like an old school, people of color in America use that term to basically say, there is injustice in this world. We are being targeted, obviously, but it's just that general term is what it was used for. But we've kind of taken it and generalized it.
And we're using it the way we want because we can.
Which makes no sense because you think about the root of the word and you're just like, that's the complete opposite of this word because you are appropriating this word that is originally supposed to highlight racial biases.
Right. So it started in the 40s.
Yeah.
It could be traced back as far as to the 40s with mine workers and unions and that kind of stuff that had colored individuals inside of it or made up of mostly colored individuals.
Yeah.
And it really blew up in the 60s with Martin Luther King Jr. and his movement, right? Because he had pictures and propaganda, I guess you could say, about being woke. That's what they wanted it to mean, is that you were well informed, usually in a political sense, in the political awareness of what's going on.
He was a huge advocate of just being educated in what was going on and not just violence or anything like that, not just being mindless, fight the system. It's more so educate yourself. Educate
yourself about what's going on and what are the solutions.
And how to appropriate, how to appropriately react and change things.
So there is an artist in 2008 released a song. Erykah Badu was her name.
Okay.
And
it doesn't fully ring a bell, but most things from 2008
The song was called Master Teacher.
Okay.
It's like a 6-minute, 30-second song.
Jeez.
And in this song, she talks about woke a lot. It's pretty much like the chorus of it. This is really where it started blowing up in the mainstream because it got a lot of attention, right? And in 2012, it became officially mainstream after the Trayvon Martin killing, which is when the 12-year-old black child was shot by police, right? And that whole thing. And then it kind of, it's escalated. It escalated a lot since then.
Yeah. which I was about to say it's almost like it is like technically their appropriate use of the word, where it's like stay woke, understand like the injustices towards like Africans, but it's just
right.
It's taking it a little bit too far.
But now, after this term was really used in the right way, you would say in 2012, right?
Yeah.
It got taken by mainstream white culture in the mid 2010s, like 2015, right? We started to adopt it, and we brought it up as more of an activist spirit kind of approach.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's pretty much anything that we want to fight for. We're going to say we are woke about this, right? And we're going to fight for what we want. So this really came into effect with like sexism and homophobia and white privilege and all of this kind of stuff, right? So that's why this term is so popularly used, because the white culture took it and blew it up on social media, especially Twitter was a big one because of the hashtags and stuff you can do with it.
Stay woke.
And in Twitter, for the most part, is where you share your opinions.
Yeah.
That's what that space is for. But
it's like if a term becomes trending, it's going to be used all the time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So pretty much, generally nowadays, it means with the times. Yeah. So are you with the times? Do you understand what's going on at this moment, right? So I found a funny definition. I wanted to find the Urban Dictionary definition of this, right? Because this is actually where I wanted to go at first, because I didn't think it was in the dictionary. I had no idea it was in the dictionary until I started doing research for this episode. Yeah. So then I found out that it was, so I'm like, all right, let's get the Urban Dictionary definition, right? So this is what it is. The act of being very pretentious about how much you care about a social issue.
Oh, fantastic. My favorite. Beautiful. That's the best. That sums it up perfectly.
It's so good, because that's really what it, like, if you say you're woke, you can be obnoxious about it, right? And you definitely can take it to a level where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a problem with like today's culture where everybody's looking for something to fight for. Like, you can be woke and just be aware of your surroundings and understand things and try to change things lightly, but it's not like everything is against you and you have to fight the oppressors. That's not, no.
Right. So we've taken this term for people wanting equal opportunity when it came to racial matters, right?
Yep.
Back in the 60s to nowadays, where we're like, I'm woke because I want to be able to smoke my weed pen wherever I want, right? Like something stupid like that.
Exactly. Yeah, no,
and that's kind of like the direction we take it, because the longer something exists, the more extremes each side are going to get, right? Yeah. And that's just kind of like the way it is with everything, whether it's music, like when the first type of electronic music came out, it was fairly basic. Now you got all of these different kinds, right? You got dubstep, you got just like house dance, you got pop that came off of it. So there's like all of these different branches, and they're all extreme in a different way. Yeah. But it's because of where it started and how people take it. Right? And that's their imagination and that kind of thing. So it's the same thing with this term, in essence.
That's true.
Now, let's talk about some fun things, right? Yes. Because when you say you're woke, a lot of the time you could be thought of as kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy.
You could be kind of crazy depending on what you think you're woke about.
Because a lot of these things are kind of like conspiracy theorists.
So we want to talk about that a little bit. Are you woke, or are you more of a conspiracy theorist about these kind of things? And is it because you're just looking for something? Yeah. Are you is that what gives you satisfaction, is finding out these little details that weren't reported initially and that kind of thing? One big one in sports recently is the Houston Astros sign stealing that went on in 2017, the year they won the World Series, by the way. And then my Boston Red Sox in 2018 when we won, right? So the Astros manager got fired.
Yeah. Oh, God.
The Red Sox manager parted ways because they're under investigation at the moment. And then the Mets manager was a player on the 2017 Houston Astros.
Of course he was.
Right? Yeah. So then they decided to part ways in case the investigation came back to him and they didn't want any bad terms. He just got hired, by the way. He didn't manage a single game. And he had to get because of this investigation. So a lot of people are now finding things and I saw a video. And I'm going really off tangent because I love sports.
It's totally fine.
So
you're allowed.
I found a video about how they were tipping pitches, because that's what this is all about, is stealing signs about what pitch is coming so the hitter knew. And that's kind of like the entire thing about baseball is there's a pitcher and there's a hitter. The pitcher's going to throw a pitch. The hitter has no idea what's supposed to be coming generally. And that's the beauty of it, is the hitter able to hit what the pitcher's throwing to him. And if the pitcher
is able to kind of predict this.
If the hitter already knows what's coming, it's an unfair advantage, right? Yeah. So there was a
mind
video.
Game. It's rock, paper, scissors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a video that I found about a White Sox pitcher, Danny Farquhar, pitching in 2017 to the Astros. And this only happened at home, by the way, because of the technology and stuff for the Astros.
Yeah.
So their like home away splits were ridiculously different. So at home, they got a video of what sounds like bats banging inside of the dugout when a changeup was called. So when you're a catcher, you give signs, right? So like 1 fastball, 2 changeup, 3 whatever. So when he puts down 2, which is his changeup, you would hear gink gink in the dugout.
Oh my god!
So the hitter knew the pitcher was coming.
Oh, that's
right?
so messed
And then he
up.
threw a fastball, nothing. So he knew the fastball was coming. How messed up is that?
That's insane. That's crazy.
So a lot of people are now being woke about the cheating that is happening in baseball. And dude, baseball's history has been so tarnished by
people
cheating and drama. Like Pete Rose back in the day is your all-time hits leader, but he's banned from baseball because he bet against his own team while he was a manager.
Wow.
And then the entire steroids era, your home run leader,
you got people just
your home run leader
juicing
is juicing.
Yeah.
So you don't have the hits leader, you don't have your home runs leader. The entire Hall of Fame ballot nowadays is filled with these people from the PED era, where if they weren't necessarily caught, but they are associated with it, it becomes this controversial topic.
And that's what's so funny to me about all these sports, because a lot of sports, a lot of conspiracy, like big woke things that exist are all sports are rigged and stuff like that. It's like, do you think that these guys would be pumping themselves with steroids and doing all these like scandals and stuff with cheating and everything? Do you really think that these games are like 100% rigged? No.
And it's funny because people think the NFL is rigging games because of how bad the refereeing
NFL's
sometimes.
Huge one,
right?
Yeah.
NFL and NBA, where the officiating especially can have such an impact on a game.
Yeah.
Where these referees are making calls that you're scratching your head like that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
Or they're not making calls when they should, and you're like, is the league trying to get like a certain team into the Super Bowl and that kind of thing? So it's kind of funny how you can be woke even with sports.
Yeah, it's not necessarily anything's rigged. It's just that people are scumbags. I mean, like Mayweather doesn't win every single round without picking and choosing his battles. You know what I'm saying?
It's just that's a conspiracy theorist in me getting interested because it has to do with sports, and baseball is my favorite sport. So I when this came to light, I was like, I have to do some digging myself. Yeah. And like the things you found about what was going on, apparently they wore like buzzers on their chest that would buzz them every time a certain pitch was coming, like that. Like, woo, that's crazy to me. Like, I remember, like, peeking at a catcher to catch a sign, and he yelled at me. He almost wanted to fight me.
God.
I was like, dude, sorry. Didn't mean it. Like, I swear to God. But
I love it just because it's just, like, I think one of my favorite conspiracy theorists is just, like, that. And I think it, like, kind of roots to the beginnings of woke culture, and that's the Matrix. That's the whole, like, we live in a simulated reality, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's like people in woke culture, they use a lot of references from that movie for their examples, like somebody who took the red pill. You know what I mean? That's
red pill, blue
that's from
pill.
that movie, the red pill, blue pill. You take the red pill, your pupils wide open, you see everything. You're seeing everything for the first time, and you're like, everything's so wrong with the world. But the whole Matrix thing is that we all live in a simulated society because computers are getting so good nowadays that we're getting to the point where we could simulate society. So who's to say we aren't already living in one? But
how our future is already determined for us before it even happens.
Exactly. But I just find that funny because things are so rooted in our popular culture that just take from other things, where it's like, how can you be sure that any of this that you believe is even true? or any of like these woke conspiracies.
That's kind of like the beauty of it, though, right? Because it brings out a debate, and people love to like talk about what they believe in.
Yeah.
So as ridiculous as some of these things are, which we're about to get into, some of the top conspiracies and some of the famous people that are associated with some of these, and they believe some of these, it's crazy to me to think like some of these people actually believe, but then I believe in certain things that other people don't believe in, right? So I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely understand from both sides of the coin. And let's talk about some of those.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about them. So one that came up very recently, and it was a big thing and it's a big meme, is the Jeffrey Epstein saga situation, whatever you want to say about that, because
it's so funny because I'm not very woke with this topic.
Right. So let me wake you up on it.
All right.
So Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein is this really rich guy who mingled a lot with high-level politicians and people of influence, you could say. So the Clintons were associated with him. So the Clintons have like a dirty rep, and he even like with Trump, has hung out with Trump. So he ran a sex trafficking ring with women as young as 14 years old.
Ooh.
So absolute scumbag piece of crap, right? He got caught, as he should. He was thrown in jail, as he should, for life, right? And one night, even though he got put on suicide watch by a psychiatric professional, he found him, the guards found him the one day, he hung himself. Hanged himself, so I guess is the term, right?
So it's a guy on suicide watch that
hanged himself, even though he shouldn't be able to kill himself, especially by hanging.
Yeah, because who's going to
and all of this kind of stuff, right?
Like yeah.
So people are
I can understand the skepticism.
So people are like, was he killed? Did somebody kill him because they didn't want him to like talk about the Clintons and maybe something they've done, right?
Of course.
So that's kind of like the whole thing about is the Clintons killed Jeffrey Epstein in jail. So you're welcome on that. That's pretty. It's pretty nutty to think, but like you watch shows like House of Cards and like this crazy shit happens. You're like, I wonder how real this political crap.
But even if say he was murdered, I feel like it's so open case or open to interpretation as to why he was murdered or who murdered him that people are just going to go off and find different random excuses as to why this guy was killed. Like, what did the Clintons know? What did these people know? Was it aliens? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Did he know about aliens and they hung him? Like, that's what I mean.
And that's the thing with being woke versus conspiracy, right?
Exactly.
Because a conspiracy is you have some information and then you take it and run with it, right?
Yep.
Being woke is having proper information that is confirmed by either science or other studies,
and you can be
right?
skeptical about it.
And you can be skeptical about it or you can support it, right? That kind of thing. So the Jeffrey Epstein thing is a big thing now because of memes and all that kind of stuff. I hate the Jeffrey Epstein memes. I really do.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand the whole thing for the most part. That's a very, very, very short version of that.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way.
Yeah, I can
if you want to learn more about this entire situation, form your own opinion on it, it's pretty nuts. It actually is a pretty nutty story. So another one is everybody saying they're going to go to Mars, right? There is a thing I read about Elon Musk making 3 ships to send 1 million people to Mars.
So you're saying like this conspiracy is that Elon
Mars
Musk
is better than Earth.
Oh, that Mars is better than Earth? I mean,
I'm going to leave Mars before Earth dies, or like we get mess up Earth or the country and that kind of thing. So they're being woke by trying to make the first move.
I mean, we've ruined this planet. Why not go ruin another one?
Right. So that's a funny one that I find because Mars is uninhabitable. Like, come on, people. The reason it doesn't exist is because it doesn't have an ozone layer that we're already destroying our own. Then why are we going to another planet that doesn't even have one?
I know.
And that would cost so much to even like colonize. It's not the right move.
Yeah. No, a conspiracy theory that I've heard associated with this is the fact that celebrities, people in power, all those people already have a way to go to Mars.
Right.
And they already have the colony all set up. So when the Earth goes down, those people are gone.
Right.
And instead of us, we're just going to be left behind. It's just.
It sounds crazy.
It sounds crazy.
It does, but some people are like, yep, that could be the case.
Yeah.
Because of how ridiculous some things are nowadays.
Because Simpsons did it.
Yeah, the Simpsons have predicted a lot, though. It's kind of funny how much they've predicted.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they are in charge.
They actually
Maybe
have
they're
the crystal
throwing
ball.
us subtle hints.
Yeah. So the next one we want to talk about, and it's my personal favorite, I would say conspiracy theorist, is Illuminati.
Oh, my God.
And I would say it's kind of confirmed how they do exist.
Kind of, but not really.
But the way people think of the Illuminati is a secret organization that actually controls the entire world and what goes on in the world. I don't believe that's the case. I believe the Illuminati is a special group of individuals who do some things that we will never, ever know about. We should never, ever know about.
Which I find is funny because Illuminati, its roots are based on the government being afraid of their citizens.
Yep.
Like, it's not like now it's the citizens like being skeptical of like their government and people of power. When back in I think it was 1776, the original Illuminati was a Dutch secret society similar to the Freemasons that were shut down really fast by their government because the government was really afraid of secret societies at that point because they're like, oh, these people are trying to educate themselves in free thought and they're going to overthrow us. And they literally have like a conspiracy, like the governments at that time thought that they were responsible for the French Revolution.
Oh my.
They targeted them as why the French Revolution happened, which is like, no, the French like people just thought that the monarchy was evil and just decided to cut their heads off. Like they were sick of it.
I think it was more of a French thing.
Yeah, it was just more of a French thing than a Dutch thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Whatever, man.
Which I think is
their own, I guess.
I just think it's funny, like the 180 flip that this name has taken from government being suspicious of their people going to overthrow them, where now it's people thinking that the government literally is always spying on us and controls more than we think.
And that's one conspiracy theory that is popping around a lot nowadays and is almost kind of confirmed, which is like if you have a camera or a microphone and anything, the government is watching and listening to what you're saying, right? And it's kind of confirmed because the government asked for things from certain websites. Like they asked for like 50,000 people's information from Facebook and all of this kind of stuff. And you're like, why does the government want to know? Like, shouldn't they stay out of our private business? And we realized that when we created the Facebook account, we said, anybody can know anything about us.
If you see somebody holding out their poker hand and you just can't help but take a peek.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they have the access to it. Why not just take a quick little peek and see what's going on?
What's going on over here? Yeah, exactly. So I thought that's funny because with the Illuminati, I have another association of a group, Anonymous, right?
Yeah,
this is the group that uploaded too much porn to YouTube, and it took like a YouTube a day to get all the porn off, right?
Yep.
So these people actually exist.
They do.
They're a group of, I would say, friendly hackers.
Your friendly neighborhood hacker, I suppose.
For the most part, they're fighting for the right of free speech on the internet.
Yeah, it's free speech and information, pretty much.
So, like, the YouTube thing was kind of like a whatever.
Yeah.
But they've done some things against ISIS even, I believe. And so they exist, and they do things, and they have power. So it's funny because the Illuminati and the Anonymous are kind of like working in the same territory, but not with each other or against each other. They kind of just coexist.
But it's kind of the same problem with like the Illuminati is that Anonymous is so vague, especially with how secret they are.
Yes.
Because they have to be. That other groups can do things in their name that can change public's perspective of them, which I feel like is probably a similar situation to how Illuminati became what it is today in people's mindset or anything like that, where it's just like, because I know Anonymous has taken a lot of flack for certain terrorist attacks because they are technically terrorists, I suppose. They're cyber terrorists.
Yeah,
I suppose, because you're activists acting radically, I guess, on a platform.
Against what the government
the government is doing. So yes.
And regulations that they have in place. So the next popular conspiracy that we have is that the Earth is flat.
All right, that one's my favorite.
This is probably my second favorite behind the Illuminati. The Illuminati's funny because of the whole eye on the back of the dollar bill and that kind of. But that's neither here nor there. So the flat Earth thing, right? It like blows my mind how many famous people actually believe that the Earth is flat.
It's crazy. I love it. B.O.B. Who else was it? I think it was what's her name? She was famous in 2006, and that was it.
Tila Tequila.
Yep.
So you said B.O.B.
Yep.
Tila Tequila. So there's a bunch of athletes that believe this. So what people say is the flat Earth MVP is Kyrie Irving.
Oh, of course.
Former Boston Celtic, current Brooklyn Net.
Yeah.
And I actually bought his shoe.
Yeah.
And inside of the tongue of the shoe is the Illuminati symbol, by the way.
Oh, of course it is.
So let's just tie that in really quick. Yeah. That's the kind of dude this guy is.
Oh my gosh.
So
I love how much they defend it too.
Oh my God.
Like their belief in it.
And it's almost like they're trolling with us.
I know.
But they're doing a really good job at making us believe that they're kind of crazy.
I know. I mean, it's just they have their conventions and stuff like that. I love it because they believe that the polar ice caps or whatever, or Antarctica is actually like a ring wall, kind of like the ice wall in Game of Thrones.
What?
Where it's like they have one entrance or exit through that, and it goes into a whole nother world with a bunch more continents that literally like Illuminati and the government is hiding from us.
It's the other side of the coin.
They have a map of it pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, they have maps. You could look it up online. It's so bad.
When I'm able to buy a flight to the other side of the Earth, I'll let you know, and we'll fly to whatever the new America is on
Where's
the other side.
Where's that curvature? I can't see it.
Yeah, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So we mentioned Kyrie, B.O.B., Tila Tequila, right? Draymond Green, Kanye West.
Yeah, of course he does. Yeah.
AJ Styles, who is a WWE superstar. Stephon Diggs, Minnesota wide receiver. We got Sherry Shepard, who is one of the co-hosts of The View. And we have an oldie but a goodie, Homer.
Oh, Homer's Odyssey. You mean, yeah. I mean, technically
he thought
was.
the Earth was flat.
I mean, I can see that.
I thought that was funny. I just wanted to throw that in there because, he didn't know better. He didn't have any satellites taking pictures of space and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So it's funny to me with this whole flat Earth thing, where it's like, you've been in a plane for more than a few hours, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna fly. Like, the entire Earth does look flat when you're flying over it. But that's because that's just the way gravity and the access and stuff.
It's just,
are.
why do you think time zones exist? Why do you think the weather is the way? Oh, actually, wait. I'm sorry. Government controls the weather. That's
chemtrails. That's another popular conspiracy. Yeah.
No. It's just there's so many things that just make absolutely no sense in your flat Earth theory.
Right. So
I just remember being in Barnes & Noble and seeing a globe, and I sent a picture of it to you, and I was like, what is this globe doing in my Barnes & Noble? Get the shit out of here.
Give me the flat Earth coin. Where's my Earth coin?
Yeah, where's my sea turtle from Discworld that has the Earth on its back traveling through space?
So you mentioned chemtrails, right?
Yes, I did.
So chemtrails is another popular conspiracy where people think that the government is just throwing chemicals into the air to either control the population or thoughts, right? The mind control kind of thing. And or the weather, obviously.
Yes.
And one popular celebrity, Kylie Jenner, believes that the chemtrail thing is by the government and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, she talks to Kanye a lot, so.
Yeah, I mean, they're around.
Yeah, they're around.
Right? So the next one we're going to talk about is ghosts, right? I feel like this is a popular one because when you see a ghost, it's not something you can easily explain.
No, it's
Do you believe in ghosts?
I don't believe in ghosts. I kind of...
Do you believe in the presence of someone who is no longer on this earth?
I believe in the presence of energy, because energy is proven by science as a thing.
All right, dude.
I'm just saying. Because you can't say that you don't go in, this is me being a conspiracy theorist for a little bit.
Okay.
But you go into a house where something terrible, something tragic happened, where somebody died. You can't not say that you don't feel something while you're in that place.
But that's
like
just,
that sense of eeriness.
That's just a mindset of you knowing you're going into this place.
It's true.
And you're looking for that feeling.
Yeah, that's true. You have the frame of mind while you're in there.
It's different if it all of a sudden happens and you're not expecting it. But it's another thing if your mind is expecting it, so you're looking out for it, and anything that your mind could think it's what it is, then it's going to twist it into your favor, obviously. So like the whole ghost thing, like you got the ghost hunter shows that exist, right? And you hear these people with noises and all this kind of crap.
Yeah, I have this technology detector that's going to like somehow explain that there are ghosts here, where it's like it's just a beeper. It's a machine that goes beep.
That's pretty much all it is. And then you just hear weird noises, probably coming from I don't know, like down the street.
Don't you love it how they have a different camera angle for when the guy goes, what was that? You know what I'm saying? Like
it's the only time camera's on him camera.
Like this, and then they also have it perfectly framed for when he turns his head. I heard something.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's a little suspicious?
And then you just put the noise over it in post, by the way.
It's true, yeah.
That's pretty.
Exactly.
That's the easy way to do it. So, I mean, Ghost, I feel like, is a popular one that people can easily believe in. I don't think people are too crazy about it. No. Just don't tell me about it. Just
that's true.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't care.
Auras. You have a great aura around you.
So, the Ghost, couple of popular celebrities. Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, Emma Stone. They all believe they've seen a ghost.
Oh, okay.
So, like, Emma Stone said she saw her grandmother's ghost and talked to her and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw Post Malone once on a podcast where he was talking about, like, 100% believing he saw a ghost.
Okay. So, it's out there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure other people would say that ghosts can't exist, right? So, something that has been almost documented, Bigfoot.
Ugh, cryptozoology, my favorite.
So, Bigfoot is a very, very popular one, especially when it comes to just being able to twist something into your favor. Whether it's a blurry photograph from the 70s.
Yeah.
Or, you know, seeing something walking on two legs.
Or fake, like, ceramic footprints that people made into the ground.
And there's shows, obviously, about finding Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, they never find Bigfoot.
They never find Bigfoot, which is just...
They never find Bigfoot.
It's impossible in today's society for you to not find, like, a land animal? Yes. Sea animals? No. Like, the sea is so goddamn deep, we can't even get down there. Like, there are still species that they are finding in the sea.
Yeah,
I can understand that. But land, there's not many new species to discover.
If we wanted to try to find Bigfoot, we would have found what we thought was Bigfoot.
Yeah.
He doesn't exist.
No.
Because in essence, he's a Neanderthal in modern times.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what it is. I can understand the whole looking for a missing link, but they've already found the missing link.
Just let him be, dude.
Just let him be.
Like, I don't care. He lives in the woods in the Pacific Northwest. There's plenty of woods there for him. It's fine.
And you can just lump Bigfoot in with freaking Loch Ness Monster and what's his name? Chupacabra.
The Chupacabra.
The Chupacabra.
I love when in 7th grade in the Spanish class how... we were taught the Chupacabra and
they
stuff
taught
like
us
that.
about it. I think that's so funny. You're right.
Because the Day of the Dead is when they like made sacrifices for the Chupacabras to stay away. I'm like, Chupacabras? Like plural?
Plural?
Hello?
Yeah.
So I thought that's a funny one, is the Chupacabras. The next one, we're going to stay with species. We're going to say aliens, right?
Oh,
so aliens.
Aliens
is a meme, for sure.
Of course it is.
So do you believe in aliens? Do you believe there's alien life somewhere in this universe?
Oh, absolutely.
There's no doubt that there's alien life somewhere.
Even if it's not aliens, it's just like basically a type of other life, not life form, but
technically those are called aliens.
Yeah, exactly. Though. Another living being, I suppose, on different planets.
There's definitely civilized
societies.
There's life
on other planets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I believe there's some that are probably set up similar to how Earth is, I would say.
Maybe.
I would say.
Know. It's true. But I mean, like, there's infinite possibilities in this gigantic universe that we live in. So
we're staying woke by expanding our minds past Earth and even past the Milky Way. Because we know for the most part.
Just accepting that there's a universe out there as opposed or just other galaxies besides our own, because there are a lot of people who are just like, yep, no, we're the only galaxy.
Have you seen the research recently about finding the black hole?
Well, yeah.
How astrologists found the black hole and how the black hole could like eat our universe in like couple minutes or something like that. It's true. No, it would just literally just eat Earth and go, and then we'd all die. Easy. It's pretty funny. Like, okay, that's a thing that we have to worry about now. That's great. Thanks.
I remember like an article talking about like time travel being possible with a black hole
because of black holes, right?
Like theoretically, I mean, if you were able to get close enough to it without it literally like disintegrating you into dust. But technically, the closer you get to it, the more that like the universe curves. So like they think that it's just theoretically you can't travel back in time, but you can travel forward in time by doing it because it speeds up time technically by basically tilting the universe.
It makes a wrinkle.
So exactly, it makes a wrinkle. So if you can get close enough to it and then get away from it, then you would have essentially traveled forward in time, which I think is kind of cool. But it's like it's theoretical.
I'll take my chance at hyperspeed.
Yeah.
I'll travel at light speed before trying to take a black hole somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
For sure. The next one we're going to talk about is another space one.
Yep.
The moon landing was staged. That's a popular one.
That one's funny because I feel like I've had a conversation about this before, just being like, yeah, that one's like the only one that I could possibly see believing, just because it's just like, no, we've been to the moon before. We've definitely been to the moon before. But that first moon landing, maybe not. I mean, it could have been staged, just for the Americans trying to upstage everybody else.
Get the advantage over the Russians who were also trying to get to the moon at that time.
Exactly. Just be like, yeah, we got there already. Like, we got there first. But it's too much footage. There's too much documentation. It's been done.
I think that's a thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the moon landing was a stage by any means.
No.
But Whoopi Goldberg says it was.
Oh God!
And for the aliens, I forgot to mention.
Then it was not staged.
And for the aliens one, Dan Aykroyd believes aliens will be
Dan Aykroyd's a silly bitch.
They'll be communicating with us in the near future. Dan
Dude, have you
says.
seen some like interviews with him? He believes in ghosts. He believes in aliens. He believes literally everything.
He believes that he's one of the most woke celebrities out there.
Because you know Crystal Skull Vodka. Dude, you have to watch his promo. He actually made Crystal Skull Vodka. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, he made Crystal Skull Vodka, and it's based off of the 8 crystal skulls that they believe that aliens left behind, and he 100% believed that, and he based that vodka like bottle off of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he made a vodka based on some Indiana Jones movie.
Yes, he did.
Okay, glad that's a thing that I now know of.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So the last one we're going to talk about that we're going to say is not a confirmed conspiracy, because I have a couple that were conspiracies before that have actually been proven. So we're going to talk about that in a sec after this one, which this one is a touchy subject for me and I don't like it. That is 9/11 was an inside job.
God, no.
Everybody who believes that we should be able to throw on a boat and kick to the ocean.
Absolutely.
They don't deserve to be part of society.
Just Bill Burr, put him on a cruise and then let him die.
Yeah, and just sink the ship.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
just no.
You can't say 9/11 was an inside job because the Twin Towers were bombed in the late 90s already.
Yeah.
So they were trying it one way and they tried it another way by hijacking a plane by getting through security easily because security wasn't that strong at that time.
Yeah.
And so people are saying that the plane shouldn't have been able to take down the building and it was a controlled explosion after that, right?
AJ, jet fuel cannot melt steel.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Don't you know this?
Silly goose.
Silly goose.
So that one is a touchy subject because everybody knows where they were on 9/11.
Just stop taking a tragedy and just
trying to make it something that it's not.
Stop making it about yourself.
Or just thinking that the government did it for their own benefit.
That's what you're doing. You're trying to turn yourself into a hero by uncovering the mask of the government freaking blowing up the 2 towers. Stop it. Stop. No. Like, it's selfish. I hate it.
It's super selfish.
It's
I would
super
agree
selfish.
with that.
You're like I said, everybody wants to be the hero of their own story, and
Right.
it's these people trying to become a hero by unmasking this government conspiracy, which it's not. Stop it.
Right, you're not being woke.
Yeah,
You're
not
being
being
crazy. You're being crazy.
That's all I see. These people who like come up with all these conspiracy theories are just people trying to make themselves better than what they are.
Right. They think that this is their ticket to fame or
Yeah, exactly.
whatever, right?
That's what it
They're
is.
looking for attention and they say, well, look at this.
Yeah.
All of these kind of don't say this is not wrong.
Yep.
You're like, well, that doesn't mean it's right.
It's like my conspiracy theorist website. It's getting clicks. I'm getting noticed. Like, congratulations.
No, you're just saying some really stupid shit that people are probably laughing about. So, I found 3 previous conspiracies that have been proven
Yep.
to be actually true.
Sweet.
And a couple of them have to do with the government. So let's talk about when we dropped the bombs.
Bombs.
The double bombs.
The double bomb.
On Japan, right?
Yeah.
That the conspiracy was...
A bomb so nice we did it twice.
We did it twice.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
So they say the government was taking babies and dead babies and children to test for the effects of nuclear fallout.
I already don't like where this is going.
But guess what? It was true.
Oh, no.
They were only taking parts of dead bodies of dead babies and children to try to figure out what nuclear fallout will do to them. And obviously without the permission of the parents of whatever the deceased and that kind of thing. So that's pretty messed up.
It's terrible because it was a bunch of white guys just not having sympathy for the Japanese and their families and just doing this because it's exactly what white people did.
I understand because back then we felt a lot different about the Japanese than we do now.
Exactly.
To us now, Japanese are anime girls and like they're all good, like ramen, like these people are great. They have like these great trains and they're clean cities and nice people. Back then they really wanted us to die, by the way.
They did.
They really wanted to kill us.
It's true.
So we dropped bombs on them because they wouldn't surrender. It's pretty messed up that the government went this far, but they did it for science. It's just so immoral, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, quite very much so. Like, that's what I mean. To just do it without permission or anything like that, just no.
Pretty messed up stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like that evolving cancer cell that scientists to this day are still using for research. This woman, it was like the 1920s or something like that. It was this African-American woman who she had cancer or something like that, which cancer is a replicating cell.
Right.
So it's your cells just overly replicating, and they took a sample of it and they realized that if they kept cloning this, that it wouldn't die. So her cells are still used today for all this research that has been done. There are so many cures that have been found thanks to her original cells. And like her family had, I don't know if they have settled it, but I know that her family initially received absolutely nothing for this. And it was literally a bunch of doctors realized this about ourselves and kind of secretly took it.
And it's funny that you mention that because a popular conspiracy nowadays is that we do actually have the cure for cancer, but we're holding out because we want to make money off of it, right?
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. We're better than that as people.
Yeah, it's
we
true.
are better than
Yeah, it's
that.
true. It's true.
Like, I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
Where if we found a cure for a disease that's killing all of these people and we're not using it just because we're selfish, like, no. That can't be true. It absolutely can't.
Yeah, I know.
So the next one about the government was back in Prohibition, that the conspiracy was that the government was poisoning alcohol. They were giving incentives to the manufacturers that made this to poison it to deter bootleggers from making it into moonshine, right? So by doing this during the Prohibition age, they killed, was it 10,000 Americans because of poisonous alcohol. So this was true.
Wow.
Kind of blows my mind that during that time,
the government
this could happen.
The government was mass poisoning people.
Because they didn't want this thing that was illegal, that shouldn't have been illegal. I guess now you could say hindsight's 20/20 that it shouldn't have been illegal.
No.
But at the time, I'm sure he was doing a lot more harm than good. And whatever the 10-year, 8-year period where it was illegal, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there were a lot fewer deaths from it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I wouldn't say it was the right thing to do. And it's kind of like we're having the same revolution with marijuana nowadays.
Yeah, we are.
Where it's about the person consuming it less than it is the thing they're consuming.
Yeah, it's more so just trying to regulate what people are doing. Because it's like back in the day, it's like anybody could drink and they could drink copious amounts of whatever they wanted. Like people weren't cutting other people off. It was just like uncontrolled. They didn't know what proper serving sizes were for alcohol.
Dude. People were just getting wasted because there was also nothing else to do.
Yeah, like they didn't have like a They probably didn't have like a full on standard for how much alcohol is permitted in a single serving of a cocktail for somebody. It wasn't like that. It's just like,
and this is when cars were first introduced mainstream too. That's so there's
true.
Probably a lot of drinking and driving accidents and stuff. So I'm sure that had something to do with it.
Ooh, there were a lot of kids who were dying back in those days because of not just drunk drivers, but because drivers in general, because kids were like kind of given free rein to play wherever the heck they wanted. Cars didn't really have like fully designated roads or full on laws for pedestrians. Like, I think pedestrians, given being of the right of way permanently, always having the right of way, wasn't even a thing until like 30 years or 20 years after the car came out.
Oh, wow.
And that's why. Yeah.
That's pretty nuts, actually. So the last one we have is that the Dalai Lama actually works for the CIA.
Yep, yeah.
That's a conspiracy, right?
It was a conspiracy, proven true.
But it's actually true. The CIA in the 60s paid him 6-figure salary to help disrupt China's infrastructure.
Oh my God, really?
During that time.
Wow.
They used him to try to...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So they ended up like messing with like millions of dollars of infrastructure and stuff. And so the Dalai Lama was kind of like their eye. But it's funny because it's the Dalai Lama.
That is pretty funny, actually.
The Dalai Lama was a government agent.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
that one tickles my fanny. So that's pretty much all we have on. We kind of went off to conspiracy theories a lot for sure.
A lot, yeah.
But we wanted to like drive home the point that if it's something that you believe in, but it's not necessarily important, I guess you could say, in your everyday life, like aliens and Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a conspiracy, right?
It's important to know what's going on.
Right. So being woke is more about just being aware of what's going on in general about the real world. Yeah. Where these conspiracies are more for fun. Yeah. Like, I had a lot of fun talking about these conspiracies. I love talking about Flat Earth and the Illuminati, Bigfoot and the moon landing, like, because it's all so crazy. But who knows in 20 years when somebody will actually find something to prove one of these right. And I hope to find out one of these days that Bigfoot does actually exist. And then we can finally leave him alone.
I can't wait until the Earth is proven flat.
Dude, I can't wait till they can figure out how to just slingshot the Earth to another galaxy.
Yep, I'm going to break through that ice wall and I'm going to see what's on the other side of it.
Right?
I'm going to find that promised land. But it's just... whether these conspiracies are ever actually proven correct, most of the time it's just people looking for answers where they're not going to find any.
Right. And so they can draw their own conclusions based on facts that are iffy at best.
So we've joked about a lot of these conspiracies.
Oh, yeah. Had a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. But a good way for the public to be able to make joke or make light of any of these situations is memes.
Memes, dude.
Yeah, we talked about the Epstein meme in today's episode, so I think next week I kind of want to talk about memes and just like how they've evolved, how they affect our own public consciousness.
Right.
Yeah. And how they kind of educate people in the wrong way.
Absolutely.
Like,
because for the most part, they're just twisting something into a joke.
Because there's nothing worse than that guy who wants to be a part of the joke who doesn't understand.
Right.
Nobody likes that guy. Nobody likes that guy at the bar. but everybody's doing it with memes.
Online, dude. It doesn't matter. You can be anonymous online making these crazy, ridiculous, racist and sexist and all of these kind of things in the light of a joke saying it's a meme, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my free speech. I can say and make whatever I want. So I want to talk about some of our favorite memes for sure.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And some of my least favorite memes, which, man, memes have been getting worse and worse in my opinion.
Yeah, they have.
And it's because memes have been around longer. And I said this earlier. The longer something's around, the more extreme things are going to be. So the memes are getting ridiculously extreme. And let's talk about
memes
and how they've, like, the timeline of how extreme they've gotten and how you'll see something online and, like, scratch your head and be like, I don't understand this. So we'll talk about how there's basic memes, and then we'll call tier 3 memes. We'll call them the tier 3 memes, which are memes inside of memes inside of memes, right?
Yeah, Inception memes.
Right. So until then,
which are a thing already.
Are they?
Yeah.
Inception memes, right? Yeah.
So until then, acquire that grain.
Let's get this bread.
Until that wheat.
And have a great week.